feel their pain. The truth is out, the case is closed, but our search for justice never slows.
Hey guys, how are you? Good to see everyone on this impromptu live. I had thought about going live, and then Sinner had gone live, and then Willow was supposed to be going live at 8 Eastern, but he changed it. So I decided to come on and just do a quick update live on a couple of stories, and then I have a few other stories, like super interesting stories. One of them is took me on a huge rabbit hole, just learning about different things, and then some feel good stories, because I'm kind of in the feel good mood after Sinners Live, seeing all those stories. And I had said, I wish I could be a Secret Santa more than I can. We did Secret Santa at work, so we exchanged gifts today, and that was really fun. So hopefully everyone had a great day. It is freezing here in New York, and we also are getting snow, which I'm hoping that it stays until Christmas, but I have a feeling it's probably going to melt by Wednesday. So we'll see. And thanks, Sinner, for gifting a membership. LMAO Bedbugs BS. Congratulations. Welcome to the Stoners. That is an interesting name. So thanks for being here. Sinner, as always. Jingles, Shaylee, good to see you again. Remy, Steph B is driving home and listening. Drive safe. Hey, Sunday Doodles, my fave news update reporter. Well, thank you. Maybe if I had, more money and more time in the day, I'd go back to, broadcasting school, but those days are over. So we're going to get started. And I apologize. I'm very unprepared today. I will say I'm very unprepared. We're going to start with an update on Hana Kobayashi. She made a statement to the media. She released a statement, I should say. And so we're going to talk about that. And for those of you who may not know who Hana Kobayashi is, she is a 30-year-old woman who went missing from LAX after missing a connecting flight. Long story short, she chose to cross the border into Mexico without telling anyone where she was going. And she was located safe, I think it was about 4 days ago. And so I had done a live on that, and the day after my live, that's when she had issued her statement. I have thoughts on this, but we'll take a look at this first, and then I'll give my opinions.
Hana Kobayashi is breaking her silence after her family.
And please access Hollywood. Please don't strike me. Thank you.
Announced last week that she had been found safe following her disappearance. The 30-year-old was the subject of a weeks-long search that gained national attention after her family reported her missing in November, though authorities later revealed it appeared she had walked into Mexico alone with no foul play suspected. In a statement obtained by
And I will say the reason I chose to use Access Hollywood is because those who did update on Hannah's case, it was maybe 30 seconds. There was no backstory or anything like that. So that's why I went with Access Hollywood. It seems that, and I don't disagree. They shouldn't give her a lot of airtime because, in my opinion, what she did was selfish. And, for whatever reason, she did what she did. But I hope that one day she says why she did it, because at this point it seems like it was for nothing, but we'll see. Hey, Whoopsie Daisy, good to see you. Long time no see. Sunday Doodles, thanks for gifting a membership. And it's Karma Boo. Congratulations, welcome to the Stoners. Be sure to thank Sunday if you happen to be here in the bushes. Hey, Pooks, how's it going? How's it going, Pookie?
NBC News, on Monday, December 16th, Kobayashi said that she crossed the border into the United States at daybreak the previous morning. She continued, "My focus is now on my healing, my peace, and my creativity. I am deeply grateful to my family and everyone who has shown me kindness and compassion during this time. I was unaware of everything that was happening in the media while I was away, and I'm still processing it all."
And mind you, her dad sadly took his own life after searching for Hannah for several days. So she was blissfully unaware of the fact that her family was frantically searching for her. Although I have my suspicions about her Aunt Laurie, who, interestingly enough, when she was located safe, the first picture released was from Aunt Laurie with Hannah. And if you haven't seen that, that is posted on my community page, so definitely check that out. I have my own suspicions about her Aunt Laurie, but that is for another time. Hey, Monchichi, I clicked a link. Where the hell am I? Well, you're at Headstones and Headlines, so thanks for being here. And I know I've seen you around somewhere because I remember always talking about, because Monchichis, side note, growing up, we had Monchichis, and I still have mine somewhere. And they were one of my favorite toys to play with, were Monchichis. I agree, Remy. I agree. Aunt Laurie sketches me out, but then, oh. So he was in contact with the aunt? So, she sketches you out, but, so does that mean she doesn't sketch you out anymore? Or that gives you more confirmation that she's sketchy? See, I don't follow SF because, again, that's for another time. Sort of, kind of, maybe I'll go look at the post, but, and when we had talked about it the last time, when her sister had made a statement saying that Hannah was located safe with their aunt, that was just like, okay, what's happening here? Because the aunt was the one driving this narrative that something nefarious had happened to Hannah and that she was in danger, that when she was seen on camera at the Metro, she looked ill. She didn't look good. Just very suspicious. Okay, it gives context hold on a minute, let me get over here. It gives context as to how she knew a roundabout area where Hannah was at least a 40-mile area. So that gives me more questions, though, because did she know about it all along? Or did something... We might have to revisit Hannah Kobayashi, because now I have more questions. Thank you, Wendy.
I kindly ask for respect for myself, my family, and my loved ones as I navigate through this challenging time. Thank you for your understanding. In early December, the Los Angeles Police Department had held a press conference in which they revealed that based on evidence they obtained, she had appeared to enter Mexico alone unharmed. Authorities then classified her status as a voluntary missing person.
We reviewed video surveillance from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which clearly shows Kobayashi crossing the United States border on foot into Mexico. She was alone with her luggage and appeared unharmed.
Days later, her family announced that she had been found safe, saying in part, "This past month has been an unimaginable ordeal for our family, and we kindly ask for privacy as we take the time to heal and process everything we have been through. We want to express our heartfelt thanks to everyone who supported us during this difficult time. Your kindness and concern have meant the world to us." Hannah disappeared after landing at Los Angeles International Airport from Hawaii on November 8th and missing a connecting flight to her final destination, New York City, which authorities later said they believe was intentional. Nearly 2 weeks after her family reported her missing, Her father also died by an apparent suicide near LAX on November 24th after traveling from Hawaii to Los Angeles to assist in the search.
Why aren't you pausing? Pause. So her dad passed on November 24th. Hannah went missing on November 11th is the last time her family heard from her. And she had missed her connecting flight on November 8th. So about 3 weeks later is when her dad sadly passed away. Oh, and that was actually the end. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Marie says, date time on the messages SF posted after Laurie posted them. Say Friday, 5:30 p.m. So I'm assuming the Friday before Laurie got to Mexico. Right. Hannah was seen crossing the border on the 12th to 13th, which was the day after she dumped her phone somewhere. And let me just look at dates quick. So the 11th was Wednesday. Oh, wait, that's December. Whoops. Was a Monday. So then she crossed Tuesday, Wednesday. She was located last week. So it was almost a month, give or take. I don't know. Hey, KCG, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I'll take a look at that, Remy. Thanks for letting me know. Because now I got more questions. All right, so the next story, where's my, oh my gosh, this thing. One second, guys. I don't know why this isn't working the way I want it to. It's never given me this much trouble. All right, let's see. Let's try that again. All right, so the next thing we're going to move to is an update in the Wisconsin school shooting, where it was a 17-year-old female who opened fire in a study hall classroom, killing not only a teacher, but also a student, injuring several others. And in a strange twist, a man in California has been detained for having communications with said 15-year-old. I believe he's 20. And he had, through communications with Natalie, he had also said he was going to blow up a government building. It's so crazy. And so it makes me think, like, was it I'm sure more information will come out, but were they planning on doing this kind of like, okay, we're both going to do these bad things and then take our own lives, and then she did it and he didn't? Was it pure trickery? I don't know. It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. Oh, Grandma Sherry's here. Hey, Grandma, how are you? Marie, I always, whenever I look at the clock and it's like 11:11, 12:12, 10:10, 9:09, I always do wishes. Yep. When I see it. I don't see it very often, but when I do, I'll make a wish.
Overnight, we learned a man in California was detained for his connections to the 15-year-old Wisconsin school shooter. Authorities say Natalie Rupnow shot and killed a teacher and fellow student at Abundant Life Christian School on Monday before taking her own life. According to a gun violence restraining order issued by a judge, 20-year-old Alexander Praffendorf of Carlsbad, California, had been communicating with the teen and is suspected of plotting a mass shooting with Rupnow.
Right. So that makes me wonder, had also plotted to do that, and I read something about, you know, bombing as well. Did he just chicken out? Or was it just he was planning all this to try to, you know, convince her to do it, and then he was just gonna kinda, you know, I don't know. What was he expecting? He wasn't gonna be found out? I know. Hey, True Jedi, how are you? I agree, very sad.
The document says he admitted to the FBI agents that he told Rupnow he would arm himself with explosives and a gun and target a government building. Police and FBI agents went to his home Tuesday to confiscate his weapons and ammunition. A major update as the Madison community is still in mourning.
It is hard to see a community like this being so torn apart.
For the first time, the two victims that were shot and killed have been publicly identified by the medical examiner's office. 14-year-old freshman Ruby Vergara remembered in a school statement for her gentle, loving, and kind heart, adding she was gifted in art and music. The school says the other victim, 42-year-old staff member Aaron West, served our teachers and students with grace, humor, and wisdom. As new video shows students retrieving belongings from the school that they were forced to leave behind.
I was gonna say, like, having to go back there to get, you know, your belongings, I guess it's, you know, something that you need to do, but, I mean, I would think that that would be so hard to know what had happened and then having to go in there and get the things you left behind. Just really, sad. Did they find digital evidence on her phone? Aria, this guy. Yes, they found communications between the two of them. Yes. And I'll have to look. I'll look to see if I can find an article. I haven't heard or read where the communications may have taken place. I don't think they actually released that. They may have. But the one thing I also thought is when I had covered this, we had done the press conference, or no, I had done a short about it with this one reporter was getting very like rude and disrespectful about, you know, we've been sitting here for 22 hours. When are you going to tell us the names of the victims? Blah, blah, blah. And the mayor was like pretty much told the girl to sit down and that it was none of her business. Like it's not about names. And once I was done with my live after I posted the short, shortly after the names of the victims had been released. So I'm like, at least that reporter can shut her mouth because now they've released the names of the victims. It was so so, I don't even know the word, disgusting. So if you haven't seen that short, please check it out. That mayor is badass. The Madison mayor is badass. And if somebody can get the link to that short and post it, that would be fantastic.
Behind immediately after the shooting.
You can't believe the horror.
Charles Moore, the head of a network of Christian schools that includes Abundant Life, says the two students who remain hospitalized are in, quote, grave condition.
That's on our hearts and minds every day.
Wait, did I do something? Hold on, let me...
Overnight, we learned a man in California was
let's just watch that again.
hospitalized.
That cut off really weird.
Grave condition.
That's on our hearts and minds every day.
Oh. Okay, that like really cut off. Let's see. I'm just gonna see if there's any updates from this, because that one was from a couple of days ago. Oh, here, 24 hours. Oh my goodness. All right, so this was updated about 12 hours ago. And this is from Fox News. It says, Wisconsin school shooting by first semester student lasted 8 minutes. And that is also, there was another clip I was going to use, but decided to use the one I had instead. Natalie was a new student at this school. She'd only been there since September. Which even convolutes it even more. So it says, oh, are you kidding me? I don't want, all right, so we'll watch the video, I guess. No.
NBC's St. Dennis Medical
I'm
is
not
TV's
sure if...
#1 comedy premiere.
Someone's gotten...
Oh, so there was
lately.
Oh, no, that's not... I don't want to read that. Why do I have to join to read this? Oh, I have... All right, well, let me put headstones and headlines in. Are you kidding me? All right, forget Fox News. Let me see. That's ridiculous. All right, so here's one 2 hours ago. All right, let's see what this one says. Oh, I know, 8 minutes can seem like forever. Yeah, and I'll check my email and see if I can get that Fox News thing, but what a pain in the butt. I don't think I've ever had to put my email in before to read a Fox News article. Like, come on. That's ridiculous. Okay, so we're all set with Fox News. I just did that really quick. All right, so this says, new details emerge as the search for a motive drives Wisconsin school shooting investigation. The Abundant Life Christian School in Wisconsin's capital remains a crime scene as detectives search for a motive in the deadly Monday morning shooting carried out by a student and probe her possible links to a California man who authorities say was planning another mass shooting. The campus remains closed as investigators comb through social media and documents to understand how 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, who went by Samantha, got a firearm used in the killings at the private school in Madison. Rupnow used a handgun to carry out the attack. The handgun and a second gun not used in the attack were found at the scene. The U.S. Bureau of ATF and Explosives had traced the origins of the weapons, but police won't provide further information on the guns, quote, as it could jeopardize our investigation, end quote. That makes me think that I feel like if they were her parents' firearms, that it wouldn't jeopardize the investigation. So I'm wondering if she didn't get them from somewhere else or someone else. True Jedi, they haven't verified it yet. And I know at one of the last press conferences, the police chief had said, not to necessarily believe everything circulating online and only to, run with information verified by law enforcement. During an FBI interview, Pattendorf admitted to the FBI agents that he told Rupnow that he would arm himself with explosive and a gun and that he would target a government building. The documents revealed but did not identify the building. As investigators sift through Rupnow's social media and analyze documents she is purported to have written. Okay, so that answers your question. They're analyzing documents she is purported to have written, it also appears she had been in contact with Alexander, a 20-year-old man in Carlsbad, California, who was allegedly plotting a separate mass shooting with the teenager. A California judge issued a restraining order against Peffendorf on Tuesday under California's red flag law. The order requires him to turn over his guns and ammunition to authorities within 24. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. The order requires him to turn over his guns and ammunition to authorities within 48 hours unless an officer asks for them sooner. CNN has attempted to reach Pfaffendorf for comment, but it's not clear where Pfaffendorf is now. Okay. Okay, and that gets into something else. Okay. So let's go back to that Fox News article because I should be able to read it now. Yay! Okay, so we're going to read this and then we'll get to the other stories that I've got for us. All right, so this says Wisconsin school shooting by first semester student lasted 8 minutes. So, and I know they had said that law enforcement had arrived within 3 minutes of the 911 call. So that was 5 minutes before, there was a call to 911. That's really scary. I know, Sinner. Like, why even allow him? Why give him grace? Like, no, you need to hand it over now because who knows? He could take off. I mean, if it belongs to parents, they might still be careful because the parents were being open with LE. They wouldn't want anyone to seek revenge. Good point, Marie. Good point. The letter sounded like she manipulated her dad to find the gun or something. It must be more complicated than it seemed. Oh, yeah. And I know just looking at pictures from her social media or her dad's social media, they were active at, the gun range, and she seemed versed in shooting, things like that. Just sad. Like, all right, so it says, and this is the most recent article, and that's why I wanted to read it. So it says, more details are emerging about the 15-year-old girl who police say killed a teacher and teen student in a shooting at a private Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin on Monday, with school officials revealing she was in her first semester at the school and that the terrifying attack lasted 8 minutes. Police say Natalie Rupno opened fire inside a study hall inside Abundant Life Christian School just before 11 a.m., killing a fellow student and a teacher while 6 people were injured, including 2 students with life-threatening injuries. A motive for the slayings is unknown, with Rupno taking her own life during the incident. And one thing I found interesting is that during one of the press conferences, the police chief had said that when law enforcement arrived, they had found the shooter deceased. But another article I had read said that Natalie had died on the way to the hospital. So that was conflicting to me. And I don't know. I haven't seen law enforcement correct that. I know they made a few. They did get a few details wrong initially, but I mean, I don't blame them with an incident this horrific. It had initially been said that a second grader had called 911. They corrected that. It was a second grade teacher who called 911. And then there was one more detail that they had corrected, and now I don't remember what it was, but I do remember the phone call one. It took 8 minutes for her to do what she did. How many 8 minutes are there in 48? Yeah. 6. There are 6, and Okay, so Barbara Weirs, the school's director for elementary and communications, said Ripnow was a new student at the school and that teachers had no significant concerns about her. Weirs added the attack lasted 8 minutes, shorter than the school's regular snack break. She said the community's faith and connection to one another has sustained them as they struggle with the possibility that the shooter's motive might remain undetermined. So this says Dan Beasley left, standing with a homemade cross he brought from Michigan for victims of the shooting. And how sad it says Happy Thanksgiving on there. And now, families are shattered for the holidays. Police say they received a 911 call at 10:57 a.m. and the first law enforcement officer entered the building at 11 a.m. So that means it was happening for 5 minutes before 911 was called. Okay, and then they get into that man again. Police in Madison say that discovering a motive for the killings is still a top priority and that there is nothing to suggest the suspect's gender played a factor. And there are the two victims again. Ruby and Aaron. Police, with the assistance of the FBI, were scouring online records and other resources and speaking with the shooter's parents and classmates in an attempt to determine a motive. Police say they are aware of a document and possible images of the shooter being shared online, but cannot verify its authenticity, nor can they confirm any social media accounts potentially belonging to the student due to the ongoing investigation. Every child, every person in that building is a victim and will be a victim forever. We need to figure out and try to piece together what exactly happened. We may never know what she was thinking that day, but we'll do our best to try to add or give as much information to our public as possible. The shooter brought 2 guns to the school, and it is unclear how she obtained the weapons. Only 1 gun, however, was allegedly used. Rupnow's deceased victims, 14-year-old student Ruby Patricia Vergara and 42-year-old teacher Aaron M. West, will be laid to rest over the coming days. Vergara's funeral is set for Saturday at City Church, which is adjacent to the school, and West's funeral is Monday at Doxa Church in Madison, where she was a member. Vergara was a freshman at ALCS, according to her obituary. She was an avid reader, loved art, singing, and playing keyboard in the family worship band. She shared a special bond with her beloved pets Ginger, cat, and Coco dog. West leaves behind a husband and 3 daughters. She worked at the school for the last 4 years. The first 3 of those were as a substitute teacher before she accepted a staff position as the sub-coordinator and in-building substitute teacher. 4 of the 6 who were injured have been discharged from the hospital. The 2 students with life-threatening injuries remain hospitalized. Aaron enjoyed family camping trips, attending school sporting events, serving at Doxa Church, and spending time with her daughters and the rest of her family. ALCS is a better school for the work of Aaron West. She served our teachers and students with grace, humor, wisdom, and most importantly, with the love of Jesus. Her loss is a painful and deep one, and she will be greatly missed, not just among our staff, but our entire ALCS family. So sad. And so senseless. So senseless. I listened to the parents and peers from the Crumley shooting. It was heart-wrenching. I remember the victim impact statements from the Parkland shooting with Nicholas Cruz, and those were, there was one, and I don't remember the boy's name that died, but his girlfriend spoke. And that had me in tears. It was just awful. And, you know, how his life was spared, I will never understand. But I guess the defense made a good case for, you know, mitigating factors. Anyways, that's, again, another story. All right, so we are going to change gears. I had reported on this story. I can't speak tonight. What the heck? This story several months ago, and this was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. These five beautiful girls were getting ready for a wedding, and as they were driving, a man who was carrying a lot of drugs in a rental car blew through a stoplight at approximately 100 miles per hour, hitting their car and killing all five of them. He was not very injured. He fled the scene, but local employees, I believe it was a Taco Bell, because he was trying to get people to give him a ride. And so police were able to detain him, and they found him sitting on a curb. And when they asked him, you know, how did you get hurt? He said it was an old wound. And it's like, okay, buddy, okay. So they do give some summary. I will share, like I said, I did an entire live about this story. I will share the original on my community post if anyone's interested in watching that again. But this was, I mean, it's just tragic. Tragic. And the one thing I hope is that they didn't see it coming. I really hope that none of them saw it coming.
Where'd they go? What?
And I will, actually, let me change my banner. I'm going to put my viewer discretion advised, because they don't show, they pause the video just before impact, but it could be distressing to some viewers.
Newly released footage shows police frantically searching for the driver moments after a tragic crash killed five best friends. It's just some of the evidence that led to the federal conviction of a former DFL lawmaker's son. Inside his rented Cadillac, they found these bags of deadly drugs and this handgun. As Uba Ali explains, a jury will see this evidence in court again, this time for murder charges.
For the first time,
it's an unspeakable tragedy, irreplaceable loss.
We're seeing the evidence that presented a detailed timeline before last June's tragic, a detailed time.
And I keep thinking I'm on YouTube. It should pause though if I click on it. I guess not. So this is his car. This is his car. And you can see the damage of his car. And this was a rented SUV.
Timeline before last June's tragic crash, a crash that killed five best friends who were getting ready for a wedding.
I can't personally get over anything until I know for a fact that justice has been served.
Last month, a federal jury convicted Derek Thompson with intent to sell these fentanyl pills and having a gun as a felon, all stemming from the same.
And how interesting is it that he has all of these drugs, and there's one $1 bill. One $1 bill.
All stemming from the same crash.
Families are obviously very disheartened by the fact that he's already been convicted by one jury and still won't accept responsibility.
Now, some of the same evidence will be shown again in 2 months at Thompson's murder trial. Attorney Jeff Storms will be there.
What you'll see more of at the state court level is really the horror inflicted upon the girls.
Investigators say this surveillance video from the airport shows Thompson renting the SUV less than a half hour before the crash. Another angle.
Wow, I hadn't realized it was less than a half hour. So not even 30 minutes. and these 5 girls lost their lives because of this maniac.
Shows him leaving. Then a trooper says he clocked Thompson driving nearly 100 miles per hour before exiting at Lake Street, blindsiding the girls. The crash so violent we had to.
And so they paused it, but you can see, like, that shows how. Oh, it was a McDonald's. I misspoke. I thought it was a Taco Bell. But just the blur. I mean, this guy. I mean, come on. Like, just admit what you did.
Pause it. Then a description from witnesses.
White or gray sweater. It's a black male. And he got lost. White male, black male.
Taking off, leaving this receipt in the car. And
so this guy, well, he was trying to get away, but he left the receipt in the car. So, I mean, thankfully he was trying to get away fast because they could figure out who he was.
Leaving this receipt in the car and even asking a stranger for a ride.
Oh, no. That's why you'll give me a ride.
Ultimately ending up at a fast food restaurant limping before police find him on the curb.
Why are you bleeding? Huh? Why are you bleeding? 303. Use your hands.
Bleeding? What's that got to do
you
with
fall?
anything? Yeah, this is an old cut, bro.
That looks pretty fresh.
That's an old cut. Oh, and of course they put these things.
Old cut.
There we go. That's an old cut, he says. That's an old cut. That doesn't look old. An old cut would be like, you know, healed over.
Bro. That looks pretty fresh to me. White shirt, brown pants.
Thompson rejected a plea deal in this case, opting to stand trial instead. That is set to begin in February, but could be pushed back as both sides litigate what evidence should be presented. In the newsroom tonight, Uba Ali, WCCO News.
So, trial set for February, but as in any case, it could be pushed back because they need to decide what evidence is going to be allowed in the trial. But what a jerk. What a jerk. Hey, Healing, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, right, Marie, with blood, not very clever. It's old. It's old, but it's like actively bleeding. Yeah. Dum-dum. Okay, so we're going to kind of move into like less tragic. Well, the next story is tragic. So if you remember, we had talked about the woman who had fallen into a sinkhole looking for her cat. And so a lot of people, you know, myself included, wanted to know what happened to Pepper the cat. Well, the cat has been spotted. The cat has been spotted. However, state police are telling people to leave the cat alone. That the cat is safe, it's being fed, and that, you know, they need to just leave the cat alone. Leave the cat alone.
Nearly 2 weeks after the body of Elizabeth Pollard was recovered from an abandoned mine in Unity Township, many people are asking still if there's been any update on Pollard's lost cat. She was looking for the cat when she ended up falling down a sinkhole.
And tonight, Krista Rose has an update on the cat Pepper.
Some good news, bad news. Yes, Pepper the cat has been spotted near Monday's Union Restaurant here in Unity Township. And no, you should not come looking for the cat.
We know that a lot of people were curious about the well-being and the health of the cat, and we just basically want to tell them that the cat is okay.
So the cat is okay. So I'm sure, I mean, even me, I would be worried about the cat too. So I'm sure that there were people there trying to find the cat. But I mean, I would be scared that there's another sinkhole somewhere in that area. That would be me.
It's Pennsylvania State Trooper Steve Lamani speaking exclusively with KDKA on Wednesday.
Look at Pepper, such a good baby. Pepper looks like my Lucy, only much thinner.
About the whereabouts and condition of Pepper the cat, who for the last week has been spotted lurking around the property at Monday's Union Restaurant in Unity Township. It was, of course, earlier this month that 64-year-old Elizabeth Pollard was behind the restaurant searching for Pepper when she fell 30 feet through a sinkhole into an abandoned coal mine, her body being recovered by...
Holy crap. And you just think, I mean, obviously the hole wasn't that big when she fell through, but just to think, like, just walking, and I mean, the property owners probably, what if they were mowing their lawn and they ended up falling into that? Or, you know, I mean, it could have been anything. And look how, I mean, they dug into it a little bit, but like, depending on where these holes are, their whole restaurant could fall in. It's so scary. I wouldn't even want to walk around there. I grew up there. The old mine collapses are everywhere. My grandmother was always paranoid about them. I would be too, right, Pookie? I can see why. I mean, you're just walking looking for your cat, and like, how scary.
Searchers several days later. Pepper has not been willing to come to people, but the state police and the owners of Mondays are asking people not to come to their restaurant and search for the cat. The big reason being, crews are still working behind Mondays to fill in the abandoned mine. And while the restaurant is safe, the work site is off limits to the public.
There's a lot going on down at Mondays, and if someone's just walking around, roaming around, it's, you know, they can get hurt. You know, obviously there's a hole that's there that they're filling in. The last thing we want to do is see somebody that's trying to attempt to track down this cat, see them get hurt. We don't need anyone else getting hurt, and the family's aware of it. So if they want to move forward with capturing the cat, then we'll do it in a humane and safe way, and we'll work through professional.
Yeah, they need to get a trap, you know, have a heart trap, get some mackerel, heat it up, get it real stinky, and Pepper will go in the trap. Pepper will go in the trap, and then the family can, you know, get the kitty. But I agree, like, don't.
So again, if you're coming to Mondays, come for the food, let crews continue their work, and if you see Pepper the cat, just leave it alone. Reporting in Unity Township, Westmoreland County, Chris DeRose, KDKA TV News.
Leave Pepper alone. But that's a little, you know, a little bit of good news and a really, really heartbreaking story. And hopefully, you know, they will be able to trap Pepper, and Pepper can go live with family, or, you know, if family doesn't have the means, Pepper can be adopted by another family. But Pepper seems like she's doing quite well. Pookie, you had your holiday party. Where did that go? The hotel Christmas party is finally over. Okay, there was finger foods. No one wanted to stay long, but it was good, and I got some awesome gifts. Well, that's always good. Oh, you got a cat wind chime. Our administration actually bought us lunch today. It was so good. I had the chicken parm. It was sausage and peppers, which I don't like peppers, so that was out. Eggplant parm, don't like eggplant, that was out. I did have a little bit of penne and vodka sauce, but I'm not really a big pasta person. So I just had salad and chicken parm, but it was really good. It was really good. All right, so the next story is also about cats. Why? This is like driving me nuts today. I don't know why it's not working. So this story I had come upon, you know, it just showed up in my feed, and it's about a cat cafe. And this woman has a huge heart, and people would come to her saying, you know, can you take my cat? I don't want it to go to a shelter. And she would take the cat. The problem is she didn't have the appropriate licenses to do so. So the SPCA came in, removed all of the cats from this cat cafe. Which, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, it's heartbreaking. They're probably like her own cats. And so now she's going to get the proper paperwork so that she can have, her cats back. Picky eater much? Well, I mean, there's certain things I don't like. Onions, pepper, celery, eggplant. Yeah. I mean, the three big ones are onions, peppers, and celery. Those are the three, like, no. Anything with that, I'm either picking them out or I'm not eating it. Yeah. Yeah.
For you, more than a dozen cats have been seized.
So this guy, let me just rewind this, because this guy, the way he says cats, I need to clip this and make it a soundbite. He's like, cats. Like, it comes right from, like, I can't even do it, but it comes like from down in his throat. It's like, man.
For you, more than a dozen cats have been seized from a cat cafe in Tiverton.
This is the result of an investigation involving multiple agencies. NBC 10's Aaron Coogan is...
Makes you wonder, how did they, I mean, maybe they do like, inspections, things like that. And maybe they found that way that she didn't have the proper licenses in paperwork. Or was it someone who was just like pissed off and said, hey, she's taken cats she shouldn't have?
Is live outside the cat cafe to explain what happened. Aaron.
Yeah, well, guys, the cats, of course, the main attraction here at Bajaw's Cat Cafe. But take a look tonight at Dark Dining Room, the consequence that business now has to face for allegedly violating local licensing laws.
When they got here, I had to kind of come clean.
Loving to a fault. A Tiverton business owner now blaming her big heart for licensing violations at Bajaw's Cat Cafe.
I unfortunately need to learn how to say no and not help cats that I shouldn't be helping at the time. I should have done it by the books like I intended to.
Taking to social media, owner Amanda Souza was forthcoming with customers as to what went down Friday morning at her business. Crews with the Rhode Island SPCA, DEM, and various Tiverton town agencies raiding the cat cafe, taking more than a dozen of the animals away.
Seeing them leave in the crates and knowing I can't help them is probably the worst part of it.
Bajaw's currently holds a shelter license, which allows them to take in and care for cats coming only from the Massachusetts-based shelter Forever Paws. But a separate rescue license is required to take in any additional animals, which the staff admittedly says they have done.
People come to me and they love this environment and they know that me and my team, we take great care of the cats that are here and they want to surrender the cats here. Should I have probably told them to go to another shelter? Yes. Did I? No.
The RISPCA says some cats had some mild upper respiratory issues, but were recently seen by a vet and appeared to be well cared for. The animals are now being held at the RISPCA's facility in War.
I tend to agree with you, Sinner. Some loser snitched. Because that place it's clean. I mean, the cats have lots of beds, lots of toys. It's like comfortable. And the fact that she could only get cats from a certain, I guess it was like a rescue. I get it. You want the cats to be up to date on their shots and, in good health, etc. I mean, she could have taken, if she wasn't bringing them to the vet to get checked out, she could have possibly had a cat with FIV or FELV. And then that's transmitted to the other cats. And then all of the cats are sick. So I get it. She needs to do it by the book. But if they said there were 12 cats, that's not, I mean, it's not like she had 80. I don't know.
Warwick, where they'll be placed for adoption. The town told the business owner she'll need the proper permits and approvals in order to reopen, which Sousa says she plans to do.
I'm never going to back down. I'm not going to stop.
It reminds,
Now, no animal cruelty charges are expected. Investigation remains ongoing. Live in Tiverton, Aaron Coogan, NBC 10 News.
And it reminds me of the case in New York where where the squirrel, Peanut the squirrel, and I don't remember the raccoon's name, but someone called the DEC, and the state of New York killed those animals. They said they had to test them for rabies. I'm sorry, but a rabid raccoon or a rabid squirrel are not going to act the way that those animals did. And that is one thing. I mean, New York State got that wrong. Really wrong. And my heart broke for that couple who they had a wildlife rescue. Like, that's what they did. And they just ended up keeping Peanut the squirrel and the raccoon. But New York State has blood on their hands in that case. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Oh, he said cats. Like, well, yeah, it was like cats. And someone, who was it? Somebody had said, where did it go? Where's that comment? Oh, Marie said, he said cats as if they're rodents. like just taste like cats. Aw, really? Whoopsie. We have a cat cafe in Toledo, Ohio. One thing I've always wanted to do, if I had the money, like if I won $1 million, I would invest half of it so I could live off the interest. And I would then invest the other $500,000 in a cat sanctuary. That's what I would do. I would have to move though, because I don't really have the room here, but I would want a cat sanctuary. Just, there's so many homeless kitties, and that's what I would do. But maybe one day I'll win the lottery. Maybe one day. Okay, so this next story is what had me down a rabbit hole. So I had mentioned this on my live on Wordsy Wednesday. I think I mentioned this. On my way to work, they started talking about this mastodon. And I was like, what? New York State? Sure enough, they found a partial jaw from a mastodon. And if you're not sure what mastodons are, they are related to the mammoth, the woolly mammoth. And I thought I had a picture up. 1 second. Mastodon. Okay, so here is open. They also are related to the modern day elephant. This is kind of blurry. But so this is a mastodon, similar to a woolly mammoth and an ancestor to the modern day elephant. So when I heard this story, I have one of my students is very much into like history and, evolution. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a good story. So me, I get home, I'm like, let me look up this story. I had thought mastodons were around much like millions of years ago. However, I was surprised to learn they went extinct around 11,000 years ago, which is still a long time. But when you think about, prehistoric animals, that's usually millions of years. So just for those of you who may not have known what mastodon is, that is what they are. I'm not taking that one in. So this happened in Orange County, New York, which is downstate. These homeowners, the guy was mowing his lawn and he saw these two teeth sticking out. So, further investigation, he's like, oh, this might be something. So he called in people who could help, which kudos to him, because I feel like, many people may just be curious and, dig it up themselves. But, he called the experts in, so to speak.
A man here in Scotchtown was mowing his lawn when he spotted 2 teeth sticking up from the ground. It didn't take long for him to realize there was something special and rare hiding in the ground.
This is the part of the tooth that was coming out of the ground.
A backyard in Orange County.
Wait a minute, let me back that up a little bit. Wow, look at that. And just seeing that sticking up, like I guess maybe you would know it was a tooth, but I don't know. I don't know.
Out of the ground.
To me.
A backyard in Orange County turned into an archaeological dig after a homeowner called in a team of researchers to find out what was lurking beneath his property.
That's a lucky neighbor. That's pretty cool.
It turns out those teeth poking from the ground were part of this mastodon jaw, believed to be 13,000 years old.
Okay, 13,000
We knew we
years
had
old.
something pretty exciting.
Dr. Robert Farinack is the paleontologist with the New York State Museum who helped unearth the fossil in remarkable condition.
Mastodons were our elephant relatives that lived during the ice ages here in New York.
But it wasn't just the mastodon jaw that they dug up.
We also found this piece of toe. Then over here is a piece of rib.
The fossil is now in Albany as Dr. Farinack works to wipe away all the dirt from the jaw and glue the bones back together, a meticulous process that will take months.
It is just like a 3D puzzle. I try and find pieces that match up.
It turns out mastodon bones are hiding all over Orange County, accounting for 1/3 of all fossils found in the state. It's enough to inspire 4-year-old Alex to start digging.
I'll try to dig some to find some like a treasure.
Dr. Farinack is hopeful that the backyard in Scotchtown will yield more fossils as he works to preserve this prehistoric wonder.
I want people 200 years from now to also be able to experience this jaw.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
All right. So this also reminded me of another story more about dinosaurs. So when I was, everyone probably remembers pen pals and, writing to people that you didn't know, like in different states, when you actually wrote letters. I believe it was 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade, because in 8th grade, I actually got to meet her. I had a pen pal from South Dakota. And, we would go out to Kansas every summer to see my cousins. And so one summer, I traveled to South Carolina to meet my pen pal at Mount Rushmore. We met at Mount Rushmore and I met her. Fast forward several years, they actually found a Tyrannosaurus Rex on their property. It was a juvenile T-Rex. So not a baby, but a juvenile. So it was an adult. So I'm going to share this with you just because I'll take a picture. I have a shirt that says Bucky, oh my gosh, it's Bucky the something dinosaur that they were selling after they found it, because they have a huge a cattle ranch. And this is a replica, this picture, but so Bucky, which my pen pal, her husband's name is Bucky, so they named it after her husband, is a subadult T-Rex of the robust female morphotype. The original bone quality and preservation is excellent, allowing us to create very high quality casts. So this was a cast of Bucky. Bucky's youth makes the skeleton cast an ideal candidate for smaller venues or as part of a family group. And it currently is in I believe it's in Indianapolis. Give me one second. I'm going to look it up quick. Yes, it's at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. If anyone is in Indiana and you are close to Indianapolis, you can find Bucky there. That is where Bucky is. I would have sold That's Bucked Up shirts. So here's just a little history. The skeleton was discovered in 1998 by its namesake, Bucky Derflinger, a rodeo cowboy and rancher who was himself a subadult at the time of discovery. So, right, because I graduated high school in 96, and I believe it was 92 or 93 when I met his wife, who was my pen pal from 6th grade. Yeah. So the excavation was done by Black Hills Institute in 2001 and 2002 and required an enormous amount of resources as the skeleton was scattered over an approximately 2,000 square meter area, buried under as much as 10 meters of overburden. Bucky was prepared, molded, and mounted by BHI for the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, where it went on exhibit June 2004. I will share this if anyone is interested in reading more about Bucky, but I will find my shirt. I know exactly where it is. I'll take a picture so everyone can see. It is an unbelievable story, but it is a true story. It is a true story. And that reminds me, I need to send a text to his wife because I haven't talked to her in a little while. So, definitely check that out. Bucky the dinosaur. All right. So moving on. Oh no, this wasn't supposed to, hang on. I'm really messing up here. That was supposed to be the last story. Okay. So we're going to put that one last because he was on my thumbnail. I wanted that story to be last. That puppy, so cute. His name's Santa. Or he went to see Santa, I should say. All right. So this next story I actually saw today. And oh, the Avatar. Yeah, I found this last year. I'm never going to get rid of it probably. So this I saw. Oh, what did Steph say? Oh my God, it took me 68 minutes to go 11 miles. I started driving. Yeah, you started driving when the live started. Insane. Steph, were you looking for a dinosaur? California rush hour. I wish. Ugh. That's one thing. My dad would drive to work every day. He had an hour to work for, 20, 30 years, maybe 30 years. I don't know how he did it. My brother-in-law, he drives 90 minutes one way to work. It's crazy. I couldn't do it. Nope. You know why Snoop carries an umbrella? A drizzle. Oh, shizzle my drizzle. Okay. So this story and Inside Edition, please don't strike me. I tried to find another clip of this from another news source that wasn't Inside Edition, but Inside Edition did the best job on this story. So I wanted to use this one. This 8-year-old boy was sitting at lunch with his friend when his friend started choking on a grape. I believe it was a grape. So his friend did the Heimlich maneuver to get the grape, because his friend was choking. So this story is so cute. So we're gonna take a look at this one. Yeah, well, when you live in, where I live, you have to drive pretty far to, there's not a whole lot in a teeny tiny valley town. All right, here we go.
Two classmates are enjoying school lunch together.
Yep, so they're right here because when I first started watching this, I was like, where I was looking at this little boy right here, but it's these two right here. And the one on the left is the one that starts choking.
Then one pops a grape in his mouth. Immediately, the boy starts choking. He stands and clutches his throat. His 8-year-old buddy quickly realizes there's a problem, so he jumps into action, grabs his friend, and performs the Heimlich. The grape is immediately dislodged. Today, Thomas Conley is being called a lunchroom hero for saving his buddy's life.
Congratulations, Thomas. What you did was pretty heroic.
Like, look at these two. Look at him. He's like this little scientist. They're so adorable. So adorable.
His buddy Isaiah says Thomas saved his life.
He did the Heimlich.
He did the Heimlich. Turns out Thomas had never been taught the Heimlich.
I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just decided to push on his stomach because what I was thinking was trying to get air up and push out the grape.
No.
And go figure. That's why I said he looks like a little scientist, because he's like, if I push on his stomach, it'll push the air up and maybe the grape will come out. I mean, what a smart kid. He's going to go far, this kid.
No time for accolades. After his heroics, the lunchroom hero calmly went back to doodling. The next day, he was honored at Porter Elementary.
He's like, just another day in the cafeteria at elementary school. You know, no big deal. Such a cutie.
School in Mesa, Arizona by the local fire department. Here's Isaiah's thankful mom.
And I cannot express how grateful I am that it was Thomas sitting next to my son that day.
Thomas's parents are also very proud.
His quick thinking and his being brave in that moment.
Lots of folks are now comparing the spiffy lunchroom hero to young Sheldon from the CBS sitcom
there we
about
go.
a boy prodigy who wears bow ties. Have you guys heard this comparison to young Sheldon?
Yes, I think it's pretty spot on.
And of course, they have the thing in the way. Oh, kind of looks like Harry Potter a little bit. I know, like he has his bow ties, all dressed dapper. Such a cute kid. Such a cute kid. All right, so we have two more stories, and the next one I have not watched because I saw it right before I went live, and that's why I was running a little late. So this story is biological sisters adopted by different families take to TikTok to find teenage brother Giovanni. So all of these girls all of them had been adopted. And so the girls all found each other, but now they're looking for their brother Giovanni.
First at 5, the search for Giovanni is heating up after a TikTok video from a group of sisters, including 2 from Tampa, caught fire on the internet. They're all adopted. The sisters all found one another, and now they want to find their brother, Giovanni, who they know was born in Tampa. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is in the newsroom. Aaron, how's the search going, and have they had any luck?
So far, Haley, these 6 sisters have not yet tracked down their brother, but they know Giovanni is out there somewhere, and they hope he's one of the tens of millions of people who sees their TikTok video. A steady stream of happy tears from sisters separated for years, reuniting just before the holidays. But this family,
I'm 25, 23,
is unlike any other. There's Kat and Gigi Palmer. They live in Tampa. Alexia, Anna, and Monica are 20, 19, and 18 years old.
quite back to back in age.
Isabella is the youngest at 13, all born to the same biological parents who struggled with drug addiction and were forced to give up their children. The sisters were adopted in pairs by different families and now live in 3 different states.
Oh my gosh, Steph, I forgot about Good News Network. Yeah, I like these two. And it's kind of using, TikTok isn't great, but I mean, these sisters, I don't doubt they're going to find their brother Giovanni, because somebody's going to know him or know a Giovanni and be like, hey, or maybe he looks like one of them and they could be like, hey, they might be looking for you.
Dates.
We all have pairs. Like I have Gigi, Alexia and Anna were adopted together. Monica and Bella spent their lives together.
Through the years, they found each other and a common bond.
We are the curse breaker generation. We're the first generation not to struggle with addiction, to choose something different for our lives.
Still, something is missing from this group of siblings. Their brother, 15-year-old Giovanni, who was adopted at birth. They have no idea where he is. So when the sisters got together last weekend for the first time in 5 years, they put together a TikTok video that took the internet by storm.
5 years. So they hadn't seen each other in 5 years. Yeah, that is amazing.
If your name is Giovanni and you were born at Tampa General Hospital on February 14th, 2009, and you're 15 years old, and your parents were the doctors who delivered you.
Oh my God, that just gave me chills. He was adopted by the doctors. Hold on, I gotta back that up. Yes, and your parents were the doctors who delivered you. What? What? Holy crap.
And your parents were the doctors who delivered you. We're your sisters. And we want to meet you.
By Thursday, that video had been seen by almost 50 million people, liked by more than 6 million, and shared about 72,000 times.
There was lots of comments about that, like, oh my God, imagine being a 15-year-old boy, finding out you have 6 other sisters.
They're confident Giovanni is growing up in a loving family, but they say there's more love waiting for him.
The end goal of this all is to find Giovanni, and if he wants to have a relationship with us and get to know us, then that's great, and if he doesn't, that's okay.
So now they wait
If your name is Giovanni,
to see if one of those millions of viewers was Giovanni or his adoptive parents, and to see if the next time these sisters reunite, maybe there'll be one brother bigger.
but what's interesting about the fact that we all grew up separately, we are so alike. I just want to see how these traits that are very, very strong have been passed in and how they're in a boy.
They came from the same mom and same dad, but he went and lived a totally different life. And like, I would love to get to know that, about him. And so that we could all just like have that connection again.
And the sisters have also reconnected with their biological parents, who they say have been sober since meeting their oldest daughters, Kat and Gigi, who you just saw several years ago. They also hope a story like this puts a spotlight on the need for foster parents like the ones who took in these siblings and raised them in loving families. Meanwhile, as for their attempts to reach Giovanni, Haley, the search goes on.
I sure do hope they can find him and put a happy ending on this. But we're already so proud of them for how far they've come and how they're rebuilding this beautiful family.
For sure.
All right, Erin, thank you.
It's a great story.
So good. So good. And I'm just going to go look because I saw her TikTok name. I'm going to look up and see if I can spell. So it was Kat Palmer. Oh my gosh, TikTok changed their layout online. It sucks. All right, I think this is her. Yep, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is her TikTok. I'm going to share it if anybody wants to check it out. This is the sister Kat's TikTok. Hey, Harv, how are you? And so now the video has 49.5 million views. Let's see.
If your name is Giovanni
And you were born at Tampa General Hospital
on February 14th, 2009, and you're 15 years old.
So 6.3 million likes, just over 36,000 comments, 400,000 people, give or take, have saved this video. And so it says, our biological parents struggled with addiction for many years, causing us all to enter foster care. We were adopted in pairs with the exception of our brother Giovanni. 2 of us are here in Tampa Bay, but we all found each other. TikTok. I think there's a typo. TikTok us find our brother and make our family complete. And then she has, must be, those are her other sisters. That's so cool. And then she has a newer one.
Hey.
Let's see.
Hey, TikTok. It's Kat and Gigi, the 2 oldest Juliana sisters looking for their brother, Giovanni. Wanted to jump on and give you an update and answer some frequently asked questions. We're in 3 different states, so that's why everybody can't be here. But they did give us permission to update the people.
So we have not found Gio yet. We've had quite a few trolls, so please refrain from doing that. But if you are out there doing the detective work and boosting this post, keep it up. Thank you so much. We have a few news stations reaching out to us as well, so we're really hoping that helps us get the word out.
Yes, and regarding the frequently asked questions, you guys are funny. Number 1 question, did our parents just not want a boy? Completely not the case. We were all in foster care and adopted out of foster care unfortunately, our parents really struggled with addiction. And we all have pairs. So Gigi is my pair. Alexi and Anna are pairs. Monica and Bella are pairs. Gio just doesn't have a pair, and that's a reason that we really want to find him and tell him all about ourselves.
So how did us girlies find each other? We found each other through a random social media post. So we're really hoping it works for Gio too.
Yes, and piggybacking on that, a lot of people were like, why didn't you wait until Gio was 18? We were not 18. We had questions. We always wanted to find our sisters and get to know each other. And I'm sure he has questions at this age. And if it's too soon for him, or if it's something he doesn't want to pursue at this time, we will 100% absolutely respect that, because we get it.
What if they changed his name? That's a very likely possibility. Our middle names were changed and our other sisters, their first names were changed. That's totally fine. We will call him whatever he wants us to.
Yes, and if circumstances align, like place of birth and date of birth, please reach out to us and we can see if we're truly related. Again, the resemblance is uncanny. And then the last question, what if Gio doesn't know he's adopted? We hope by his age, almost 16, his parents have informed him. If he hasn't, surprise, surprise. I didn't want to drop it on him that way, but again, we grew up always knowing we were adopted, as did our sisters. And I know everybody's situation is different, but we're hoping this can be a really positive thing, as it has for us. So keep boosting. All of us were so grateful for this. In our wildest dreams, we couldn't have imagined. And fingers crossed we find Giovanni. Maybe by Christmas, I'll write to Santa.
Hey.
Okay, so there you have it. So cool. Yes, Sinner. I was wondering if they knew where he was born. They knew the date. And I would think, maybe they looked at the hospital where he was born and maybe the doctors don't work there anymore, but I don't know how HR works in hospitals, if they could even answer questions. I'm not sure how that works. But if there's still doctors there, maybe they've done that already. I'm not sure, but I just thought that was a really cool story. So yeah, right. That's a complicated conversation. You were adopted. I know. All right. So the last story I have for us is about this dog who visited Santa and he went missing, but he was found making a return visit to Santa. So this is the dog that was on my thumbnail. He's so cute. He's so cute. And then we'll wrap things up.
You know, sometimes a visit to see Santa
Oh
can
dear,
get
I'm
you
so
in the
sorry,
holiday
that's super
spirit
loud.
and even connect you with your family.
That message even applies if you're man's best friend. A 3.5-year-old British lab named Riley snuck away from her home in Prior Lake when one of her owners was putting in a backyard ice rink on Sunday. After her owners called police, they saw a post on Facebook from Sailor's Greenhouse about a half.
And I haven't watched this whole thing. This is so cute. So on Facebook, update, she found her family and she's still on the nice list. Is this your dog? Oh, so the initial one was, is this your dog? She showed up unattended to visit Santa at the greenhouse. If it is your dog, we have her and she's having a great time, but wants to go home eventually. And then they updated it that, she found her family. She's so sweet. So sweet.
Half a mile away, saying Riley had turned up unattended to visit Santa. And she was having a great time, but wants to go home eventually.
It was quite comical. A few friends said it would be appropriate that she would be at a greenhouse and then visiting the old guy when nobody has even met him yet this year. We have 2 young girls and they haven't even seen Santa this year.
Riley's owners say they take her for walks to the greenhouse during warmer weather, and they suspect she may have wanted to visit it because the owners have 4 British Labs themselves. So there you go.
She just wanted to
A dog
see
that went missing in
friends.
northern Minnesota for nearly a week is back with his owner tonight.
Yeah, the German Shepherd ran off from a home in Reamer, which is about 3 hours north of the Twin Cities. Maury Glover joining us now with more on Walter's story of survival. Maury?
Well, Walter's owner believes he didn't have anything to eat or drink for 6 days while he was outdoors.
So this is a different one. So that one was, the first doggy. And then this is about Walter. I didn't realize his name was Walter. What a great name for a dog. Walter.
In sub-zero temperatures, but her optimism paid off by bringing Walter back home.
A spunky little boy and very loving.
For Teresa Traddles, her 2.5-year-old German Shepherd Walter is a member of the family. So she's grateful her family is whole again after Walter was missing for nearly a week.
My heart has been extremely back to fullness. I got my boy back.
Traddles says Walter was sitting in their front yard in Reamer a week ago last Saturday when he suddenly took off. She eventually came across some of his paw prints about a mile away, but Walter was nowhere to be found.
I was scared that another animal was going to eat him because in this country, you got your wolves and your coyotes.
Traddles put up flyers around town at the urging of the Retrievers, a nonprofit that helps dog owners find their missing pets. While they were in the process of setting up food stations and trail cams to track Walter's whereabouts, Traddles got a call that he'd been found by some Good Samaritans about 6 miles from their family's home, 6 days after he disappeared.
6 miles away, 6 days later. Wow. I wonder what made him go that far. That's interesting.
He could not walk, very skinny. When we finally got him to the vet, they said he had it would have been an hour to 2 hours, he would have died.
For their friends to come across him like that was remarkable. It was, he definitely has some doggy angels.
After treating him with an IV at home for several days, Traddles says Walter is on the road to recovery. But she says she always had hope.
I'd like to tell people, don't give up on your dog.
Look at that little one. Oh my gosh. That is such a cute picture. That is so sweet.
Give up on him. It just shows you got your best friend out there, you search for him.
Now, Traddles says Walter has another vet appointment tomorrow, and she expects all will go well. If it does, he's expected to make a full recovery. Back to you.
Walter. Yeah, he needs a big nap and
He
some
looks
treats.
tuckered.
Yeah, he does. Rest up for the next week or so.
Hey, I like that he was able to get his own IVs at home. He just was chilling out.
Right. Thanks, Maury.
Mhm.
So cute. Walter. That guy says Walter. Oh, that guy said Walter the same way the other guy said cat. I know he's like cat. I need to do that as a soundbite. Cat. Aw, happy birthday to your dog. That's cute. Yeah, I had a friend whose cat, her cat's name is Kringer, and he got out. And she was worried sick. And she's out in the country, and same thing. She was scared that, another animal would have gotten him. And he was older. He was like an older cat. And then, cats tend to, want to take off when, they pass. It's a pride thing. They'll go and hide or, do it on their own terms. Anyways, long story short, he did finally come back. And once she got him inside, he has no interest in going outside anymore. So whatever happened to him out there has made him want to just stay in the house and not run out anymore. Because he was an indoor outdoor cat. And now he has decided he's only an indoor cat. So, oh, she says wolf. Cute. What is her name, if you don't mind me asking? Such a good story. So, yeah. Got some updates, got some new stories. I don't plan on going live tomorrow unless something, something that really strikes me. I am going to look, there wasn't much information, but there was in Germany at a Christmas event. I think it was at a parade center. Correct me if I'm wrong. There wasn't a whole lot of information, but someone had driven into the crowd at this Christmas event, and one person sadly at that time had passed away and 70 others injured. So I'm going to take a look at that. So possibly go live about that, but I am planning on going live on Sunday at 5:30 Eastern. There is a case that I've been following that Pookie actually sent to me as well. It is a very interesting case about a missing infant who was never reported missing, but was discovered missing when there was a fatal car accident involving the parents and siblings. So that is what is on the agenda for Sunday. And then I am on break for the next week and a half. So I may do some earlier live. So definitely make sure your notifications are on and they're set to all, because I will always give, a heads up. But now that I'm on break, I may go live earlier than normal. So, oh, that would be cool, Center. I'm considering going live and reading night before Christmas sometime. Cool. We were talking about Christmas movies today at work, and my favorite movie is, gosh, now I forgot the dang title again. Not Snow Day, because I thought it was Snow Day. It has Joan Cusack in it, and let me see. I gotta look it up again. I can't believe I forgot it. I was at work today and I couldn't remember it. I finally looked it up because it was driving me nuts because I couldn't remember it. She's a plow truck driver. Let It Snow. It's called Let It Snow. It's from 2019. I love the movie. I could watch it over and over, but if you get the chance to watch Let It Snow, you won't be disappointed. It does look like it is on Netflix. It is on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, check out Let It Snow. And it's about these kids don't want to go to school. So they try to, prevent the plows from clearing the roads. Yeah, so it was a pretty good one. Oh, okay. Maria's just correcting her typos, I guess. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for being here. I know for those of you who follow Willow, he is having a birthday live stream starting at 9 Eastern. So I'm going to stop over there and say happy birthday and maybe hang out for a little bit. But if I don't see you over there, I hope you have a great rest of your night. And if I don't see you on the flip side, I will... Oh my gosh, I screwed that up. I can't talk tonight. I don't know what's going on. If I don't see you on these YouTube streets, I will see you on the flip side.
Let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way. Even when I'm feeling down, I fight. Even when I don't know what is right, I'ma pick a side and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone.